patch person.
That's okay. Okay, we are live.
Okay.
So,
Do you guys want to go over the homework?
Sure, I don't have it all like completely done, but I'm understanding most of the concepts.
Yeah, it took me, I did not understand any of this when I did this the other day when I was like half alive, but it made more sense today.
Yeah, because most of it's the same. It took me a while to figure out some of the technology pieces and how some of the terms changed with the concepts.
Yeah, I'm still probably not 100% on it, but I guess I understand enough of it.
Yeah. And then you had this done by Tuesday, didn't you, Heather?
yes, I did, but I could not tell you what's going on right now. But I guess I can go through it with you guys if you want to. I have it pulled up here. You want to talk about it at all?
Well, did we have any specific questions?
Maybe let's run through it since we're all kind of iffy on some of it, just to refresh what this is.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just read through part 1, question and answers. So 1 says list at least 3 characteristics of the student's t-distribution. And I put that it's bell-shaped, it's symmetrical, the mean equals 0, and there's more tail space than the standard normal distribution. Shaped a little differently. 2, how many degrees of freedom generally does the t-distribution have when it's used for inference for single mean? It's 1 less than the sample size. What is the formula for the 1 sample t confidence interval for mean when sigma is unknown? And that is your sample mean plus and minus your t-score times the sample mean divided by the square root of your sample size.
Yeah, because the only things that change there is instead of using the z-score, you're using the t-score, and instead of the standard deviation, you're using the point estimate. Is that what it was?
I guess so.
S. It's S.
Yes. Is that what they call that, the point estimate?
Yeah, I had to look it up.
Okay. Okay. 4, what are the at least 2 differences between the 1 sample t confidence interval and the 1 sample z confidence interval from lesson 10? With the t, the sigma is unknown, and in the book it says you cannot use the applet to compute t-scores, but in the homework it did, so that was confusing.
Yeah.
That was the main thing that I struggled with, is just how to use the applet for t-scores. That's my main problem.
Well, on the question they used it on, it looked like it worked the same way, so I'm not sure why they said in the book that you can't use it. So yeah. I don't know. I found these questions super confusing. Like, I figured out the answers, but they were worded super weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, 5. When conducting a hypothesis test for a single mean with sigma unknown, and that's worded weird, what formula is used to compute the test statistics? So that is when you do your sample mean minus your mean divided by your sample standard deviation instead of the regular standard deviation, divided by your square root of your sample size. And 6, what are the requirements that need to be met to conduct a hypothesis test for a single mean when sigma is unknown? And that's the same as the other one. You need to have a random sample, and it either needs to be large enough to have a normal distribution or just have a normal distribution population. Okay, part 2. I'm not going to read all this. Real estate, average age of people buying second homes. There's a whole bunch of numbers. Did you guys find any of this like kind of frustrating?
So on number 8, did you have to go through and calculate the sample standard deviation by minusing from the mean and squaring it, and then adding all those up and taking the square root of that?
Yeah, which would like this is another thing that seemed contradictory because it said that you would always use your programming to configure these things, and then it's like do all of this by hand. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is telling me to do exactly the opposite of what the book said for everything. So that was confusing.
Yeah, because the book it listed, it said it will always tell you the T score and S, which is your point estimate. But then in the homework, it doesn't provide either, and so you just have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what threw me off when I tried doing this the first day because nothing made sense compared to what I was reading. I was like, I don't have any idea what I'm doing. That's because they're being dumb. Yeah, I went through and configured everything by hand, and it took a while. And I also took all of the numbers, the 15 ages, and I created a stat sheet in SPSS with it and configured my answer that way as well to check my numbers. So.
And they came out sound?
I don't remember if I ever got my handiwork to match what SPS. I don't know, but my SPS answers matched the answer guide, so I was like, whatever, I got the answer. It's like, I don't know why we're doing this by hand anyway. So that's what I did.
A lot of statistical numbers are hard to do by hand too, just because they're complicated. So
yeah, I didn't.
I mean, it's possible. It's just not done anymore in the practical world. So
yeah, I did not find the standard deviation from the sample size with my calculator.
I couldn't do it either. I just used Excel and
yeah, I don't know what else the question was asking for because the answer was just they just wanted the range. So I don't know what all of the rest of this is talking about, why we need the degrees of freedom or like most of that paragraph. I don't know. I don't know what it's talking about with number 7 from part 1 because there wasn't one. I don't know. It was confusing. So
well, we'll just chalk it up as a trick question.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know. All right, 9. Now create a 99% confidence interval to estimate the mean age, blah, blah, blah. Again, it gives you, I don't know how you're supposed to use the 14 degrees of freedom is 2.97. I don't know why they give us that. I didn't use that to find my answer. I just...
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like it would really change anything from your SPSS graph.
No, I don't know why they gave that to us. I guess it's excess information. I don't know. But yeah, I just did a 1 t-test for 99% in SPSS to get my answer.
So. Yep. All right then.
And the number 10 then wants you to use the software to compute it, which I already did. I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know what it wanted, but I guess you need the degrees of freedom to find it by hand, but the book didn't teach us to do that by hand. So I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, because the book just pointed you straight to the software and said,
yeah,
it'll give it to you.
Right, yeah. I'm like, oh, that's easy. And then it's like, do this by hand and figure this out with calculator and a pen. Like, yeah. So skipping over that. And then how does the margin of error of the 95% confidence interval compare to the 99% confidence interval? And I put that it gets wider the higher the confidence interval. It'll give you a wider range.
Yeah, making your margin of error smaller.
Yeah. 12. Yeah, I found a lot of this confusing, and I don't know. It was weird. 12A, state the null and alternative hypothesis. That was pretty straightforward. Null equals 47. Alternative equals not 47. B, compute the test statistic. First compute it using the formula and showing your work below. Yeah. Then check this test statistic by inputting the data into the software.
So glad we had to do that twice.
Yeah, I was like, I just configured this. So I didn't actually find that answer by my calculator. So I did write it out on there, but negative 0.177 is the t-score, or I guess, what do they call it? Compute the test statistic. That's what they call the t. Test statistic. Sorry, I'm still sick too.
No worries.
Okay, state the degrees of freedom. It's 14 because it's 1 minus our sample size of 15. D, sketch the t-distribution and shade the area which represents the p-value. Didn't do that.
Yeah.
And that's where they used, if you look at the answer page, they used the applet, but it looks like a different applet because it also has, above the area, it has the degrees of freedom listed. So I don't know what they're using, but that definitely looks just like the applet. So I was like, And then apparently that's what they used to get E, which I also was confused how they got that. I don't know how you get this without that. It says use your software to compute the p-value. My p-value was 0.000, but they got 0.906. I don't know how. I mean, the applet showed that that's what showed up on their box. That's nice to have an applet that shows that. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
In SPSS, did you... I was going to say, does it give you a p-value?
Yeah, the p-value is... Here, let me pull up my remote desktop. The p-value is where it says sig two-tailed.
Oh, got you. Okay, right there.
Yeah. And yeah, so we're doing a two-tailed because it's just saying it's not the null. It's not saying greater or less than. So, but it just says 0.000, unless I did that wrong. I have it for a 95% confidence interval. I don't know how they got 0.906.
How did you start with like a blank t-test?
I opened up a random file in the remote desktop, and then I clicked Control-N for a new page, and I hand-typed all 15 ages.
Okay.
Cool assignment. Yep.
Because that's kind of the piece that I've been struggling with in using SPSS is like how to get to either the right formulas where I can just put it in, or how to, I don't know, formulate a new spreadsheet. But that's kind of my biggest struggle.
Yeah, I think everything else, they give us a file to pull up, and it has all our data in there, and we just have to analyze it or make a graph for it or whatever. But yeah, this one, I opened something, and with that open, I used the control function Control-N, which is a new page for most programs. And it just gave me a blank spreadsheet, and then I just did a column up and down of the ages, and then I hit analyze and got my information.
Well, that's an easy way to go about that. I'm going to have to play around with that.
Yeah, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, all right, there's not a file for this. I was like, what are they wanting us to do? They're not very clear or explicit in their instructions on how we're supposed to figure these things out. So that's what I did.
And SPSS isn't a very intuitive program to use.
I don't know. It's grown on me. I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you figured it out.
Well, I struggled with it for a while, but yeah, as long as you remember like what buttons do what, like for the t-score, you have to hit your analyze button, and then I think it's the third one down is something about
like compare means or something like that.
Yes. Yeah, and you click on that, and that'll give you the option for a 1T test, and that's what's going to give you your one sample test where it gives you your t-score, your p-value, that stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah.
Heather, did you have any questions that you wanted to go over?
No, not right now.
Okay.
I can't see. Half of my vision is out, so.
Yeah.
That's gonna be rough for taking the quiz.
Yeah, I can see out of one eye if I cover it, so it's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so are we ready to end the recording and move on?
Well, so I still never figured out how to get the answer for E.
Oh, that's right. Let's go back to that. Use your software to compute the p-value.
Yeah, so I was trying to figure out if I entered something wrong, but all my other answers match up with theirs. So I don't know.
What the difference would be?
Yeah, I don't know if I should have used, I don't know. Or maybe, let me look at the answer page to see if that might give me a hint. I don't know. I don't know. That was confusing. I don't know. I guess that's fine. I don't know. Okay.
I'm just trying to. Is there like a new, just like where a new page button that you can hit in SPSS?
Oh, I didn't look. I just hit Control N. Do you use a Mac?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I
not
don't
in love with it.
No. Yeah, I'm not a Mac person either. I could text my husband. He uses a Mac. He might know what the control function for that. I didn't look
Okay.
under file. File probably gives you the option of it though.
Oh,
File
yep.
does.
Okay. Yep. It's file, new, then you can do new
Okay.
depth. Okay.
Okay. Okay, so should we go to our quiz?
Yeah, now that I have a new page open on SPSS, I should be able to help out there.
Oh, okay. Do you want to go through any of the problems?
No, I'll go back and play a little bit more in depth with some of that stuff.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to end the recording.
Okay.